Hey, what did you think of Dune?
I absolutely loved it. I've seen it like 8 times already.
Wow.
I like randomly put it on sometimes during lunch because I like it. I
Okay.
really like it.
Okay. Now you go back. I
Um,
mean, you go back with the book and everything, right?
oh yeah, I've only read two, Dune and Children of Dune.
Okay. Dune
I
Messiah
did
is
that.
book two.
Oh, is that book two?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Maybe
read
you
Children of
skipped.
Dune
Okay.
because when I was young I saw the movie
Yeah. Which I have
and
not
then
seen. I haven't seen the David Lynch movie. I've
you
only
haven't
seen
seen a
the.
David Lynch?
I
It's
haven't.
weird, but it's good. Picard's in it. I mean
Yeah, that's what I
Jean-Luc.
hear.
I mean
Yeah. Patrick
whatever
Stewart.
his actual Patrick.
Also, Dean Stockwell, who just passed away today, as the time of our
Are you for
recording.
real?
Dean
No
Stockwell from, I mean,
way.
I would say Quantum Leap, but Quantum Leap, Battlestar
Qua-
Galactica.
It's Quantum Leap.
Uh,
Oh my gosh, he is in Battlestar Galactica. That's
yeah,
right.
and classic Dune.
Oh my
I
gosh.
loved him in Quantum Leap. He was so good,
Yeah,
so
that's that
funny.
show. Remember, I was like, oh yeah, Quantum Leap's on at like 2 a.m. and 2:30 a.m.
Yep, yep,
It's like, how do you know that?
yep.
Because I don't know. I was up.
That's yep. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh yeah, so what I was saying, and then the William Hurt miniseries came out of
Right.
Dune,
Yeah.
and that was really good. And then I heard that Children of Dune was coming out, so I read Children of Dune,
Okay.
not knowing that like, well, that's not the second
Uh huh.
book. I mean, this was like 1999, maybe
Okay.
2000,
Okay.
and I don't know. I liked this movie. I really, really, really liked it, and
I agree. I had a good time with it too. And I bought the books in a little box set back in college, and only like I've had them for almost 20 years. And I just
yeah.
recently read it because I wanted to read it like before the movie came out. So like I'd read it and watched the movie. My wife had never read it, was not familiar with it at all, and watched the movie, and we both
hmm
really liked it. So I feel like it works whether you're a Dune fan or not.
Tara is like, I think I've talked it up too much to the point now.
Mm,
She's like, I don't want to watch it. I'm not
mm-hmm.
interested in that stuff. It's stressful. She walked in and I was watching it for like the fourth time. And she walked in like, on a night like tonight, like where she was going to Krav or something like that.
Yeah.
So I put the kids to bed and I put the movie on again. And she walks in, she's like, and she had commented like, I don't know, the movie seems really stressful. I just don't really want to watch it.
Mm.
She walked in on the scene where Leto Atreides is, naked, sprawled out on this chair,
Right. Right. Right.
and Harkonnen's like, hey, over top of him, like breathing and being weird, like eating his food. And I'm like, I was just like, well, yeah, that's like one of the most intense parts of the movie. Like that's, I was like,
That's
the whole
that's
movie
not a
is not
good.
like that.
No, don't
Yeah, I
start
was
there.
like,
Don't
yeah.
start there.
Welcome to This Endorian Life, a Star Wars podcast from the Radio Meanwhile Network. My name is Steve Rudd, filling in for Kendra Mickles.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
You're the regular. Kendra was the fill-in.
Oh, I'm the. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you're the
all
one
right.
who's
It was
supposed
just
to.
such a good episode.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, she's the new
No,
host.
no, you've
co-host,
not
you
been
know?
replaced. You've not been
Oh, okay.
replaced. But tip of the hat to Kendra for filling in
Yeah,
last minute there.
absolutely.
Anyway, I'm Nick Gunning, and we're following the Ewoks from Return of the Jedi to the Ewok TV movies, the '80s cartoon, and beyond. Who knows what the future holds, right?
I know it is. Who knows,
Yeah,
right? Maybe next week you
couldn't tell
won't
you.
be here.
I
I
don't,
don't know.
man, I don't
It's
know.
crazy. The times. So today we are discussing season 1, episode 8, The Land of the Gupins. This episode originally aired October 26, 1985.
I have a confession to make. Last
Oh
time
yeah.
when Kendra and I were talking about this, the Gupins, she was hoping that the Gupins were going to be some sort of baby frog creature. And first of all, let's just get it right out there. They're not baby frog creatures.
Definitely not.
They're a
No.
little muppety. They're not frogs. I forgot. I totally forgot that we'd seen a Gupin before. Like I don't know. I just like it wasn't. It's to save Deej, right? Ring Ring isn't to save Deej. Isn't that where we see him?
Yes. I think so.
And I
Yeah.
just
They
like
randomly
I
find them
remembered
at the
Ring
beginning.
Ring, but I didn't put together like he's a Gupin. So not only are they not baby frogs, but I could have told her what they were had I just remembered that Ring Ring was in fact a Gupin.
I know he's
Here we
so
are.
extra in that episode too. Like,
Yes.
who are you? I'm Ring Ring from the land of the Gupins. Like, okay, cool. Anyway,
Uh,
like I gotta go save my dad.
He's so
Yeah.
extra. All right. Uh, this episode was compiled with the other Gupin and Jinda episodes in a VHS compilation called Ewoks 2: The Gupins and the Jindas. We have now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we've seen all Gupins and we've seen all Jindas at this point. Neither Gupins nor Jindas make a return in the course of the Ewok series.
Oh wow, it just seems like compilations just keep coming out of
I
the
know.
woodwork, you know.
I
Who
know.
knows?
I don't know. Once again, the episode was written by Bob Carew, directed by Ken Stevenson and Raymond De Felice. I wanted to pull out Douglas Chamberlain as our cast spotlight this week. He plays Logray.
Yes, Logray.
Blah, 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 Logray. Weirdly, weirdly, not a lot of credits for Douglas Chamberlain. And I can't believe this Logray voice didn't get him more work because
I know,
it's choice. But
it's so Logray.
it is. Not a lot of credits. He was in several TV adaptations of Gilbert and Sullivan musicals.
So like the Pirates and Penzance?
Yes, exactly. So I don't know how
excellent.
how one led to the other, really.
Which one was first?
I don't-
Gilbert and Sullivan
They
or
just seem to
Logray?
kind of go all around. I don't know.
It doesn't matter, I guess.
He's a modern major
Like-
general, and he's also Logray. I don't know. I don't know.
I know. Was it
I
like
wish-
a screenplay person
wish
going
I
like,
did.
"Oh yeah, that
I'm not
voice.
sure.
We definitely have to have that voice."
He
Or
had
was
to
it the
know
other way
someone.
around? We're like,
He had
"Oh
to know
yeah," they're
someone.
like, "That guy on the stage.
Yep.
We got to get his voice
Yeah.
on our Star Wars show."
Yeah, somebody's watching the show being like, wait a minute, we found our Logray.
Yeah,
Could be.
It's
Could
like-
be.
But it's the '80s, so he
They're
like
long.
flips the thing down and like extends the
Right.
antenna up and goes, "Yes, I'm calling you from my cell phone.
A cellular
Guess what?
phone.
I found our guy."
That was $10 a minute on that big
Yeah, I know.
brick phone. So
Man,
you know it was serious. Would you like to tell me about the Land of the Gupins, Steve?
I shall. Let's delve into it, shall we? The uber detailed plot of season 1, episode 8, The Land of the Gupins.
I'm ready.
This episode, we open to Paplu wandering through the peaceful Endor forest. His quiet walk is interrupted by laughter mixed with ferocious growls. Paplu investigates and finds Nisa, Wicket, and Tebow standing in front of a large red-maned beast. He shouts and tells them to run, but the three Ewoks laugh and tell him it's only Mring Mring the Gupin. Trying to change the subject from his hilarious mix-up, Paplu asks Mring Mring to turn it to something else. Agreeing, Mring Mring reminds everyone to think of something to help him transform, and he turns into some sort of a balloon blowfish. Mring Mring cannot control his ridiculous form and blasts off like a leaky balloon and flies away erratically into the forest. The Ewoks chase after him and discover Mring Mring stuck in a reap web. Before anyone can help, Paplu and Wicket are whisked up into the trees by sticky reap goo. Tebow and Nisa try to help by pulling back on the webbing, but they can't hold on and let go, sending the Ewoks and Gupin flying through the air again into a nearby bush. Nisa and Tebow run after, leaving the reaps behind empty-handed and grumbling. They must have been hungry.
I think so.
Reunited, the Ewoks dust themselves off. Suddenly, a creature emerges from a ball of reap web that was sent flying along with everyone else. It appears to be another Gupin, though with wings. And sure enough, Mring Mring recognizes him as his brother, Ubel. The two Gupins joyously reunite at last. In the excitement, Ubel suddenly crashes to the ground and admits his Gupin powers haven't been working well lately. Mring Mring agrees, which is why they got stuck in the reap web in the first place. Ubel is puzzled that Mring Mring's wings haven't grown yet. Mring Mring admits to the Ewoks that he is an outcast because his wings have not grown yet. Ubel begs Mring Mring to return home with him despite being different. Ubel reminds him his powers are waning because the time of the renewal ceremony is at hand. At this ceremony, the Gupins open a juniper chest, which is the source of their life and power. But the ceremony won't happen because when Mring Mring left, the succession to the throne was disrupted, and now their cousin Punt has declared himself to be king. He was a cowardly king who gave the key to the juniper chest to some attacking grass trekkers, sealing the Gupins' doom since the chest can no longer be opened for the renewal ceremony. Ubel again pleads with his brother to return with him because of the prophecy. You mean fairy tales, says Ring Ring. The prophecy tells of one who will be able to open the juniper chest without needing a key and will in turn become king. The Ewoks offer their help on Ubel and Ring Ring's quest because what else do friends do for each other? Paplu, Tebow, Wicket, Nisa, Ring Ring, and Ubel set off in canoes down a river that will lead them to the grasslands where the terrible grass trekkers live and the stronghold of the Gupins resides. Along the way, Paplu daydreams of being the one to open the chest, causing him to accidentally drop his oar. The hilarious commotion distracts the canoers, and they accidentally get caught in the current of a large waterfall. Ring Ring and Ubel quickly tell everyone to think of blankets. And because they do, the two canoes parachute off the waterfall cliff and settle to the ground in the grasslands. Ring Ring welcomes the Ewoks. This episode is just so ridiculous. I can't. Ring Ring welcomes the Ewok group to the beautiful Endorian grasslands. But before they can take in the sights, they all hide from some grass trekkers who come to check out the site of the fallen canoes. The Ewoks are especially surprised by the size of the grass trekkers. Their confidence wavers slightly. Tebow has an idea and runs into the clearing and creepily hums an incantation that attracts the noisy grass trekkers back. But instead of grass trekkers coming out of the grass, a pair of mercants appear and agree to help the crew. Mercants can only be described as a mix between an ostrich and a praying mantis. So just think of how ridiculous that looks, and you are spot on. Halfway through the grasslands, the group separates. Paplu, Tebow, and Ubel set off to the grass trekker shrine, while Wicket, Nisa, and Ring Ring head to the Gupin stronghold. Before setting off, Tebow thinks of an idea to cover their mercant with grass, making it blend in as a grass trekker. Brilliant idea. When they make it to the shrine, Paplu applies an age-old Ewok diversion tactic. He runs away wildly as the grass trekkers pursue so that Tebow and Ubel can steal inside the shrine undetected. Works every time.
Yeah.
Inside the shrine, Tebow and Ubel discover a long upward staircase of a huge cavern that at the top holds the key. They quickly run up to retrieve it, even though Ubel has wings. Outside the shrine, Paplu becomes surrounded, but the grass trekkers walk off and disappear, almost zombie-like, after hearing a horn blast in the distance. Back inside the shrine, Ubel and Tebow manage to retrieve the key, and the two escape the cave to meet up with Paplu. Outside, Paplu is confused that the grass trekkers are suddenly gone. Ubel tells them the grass trekkers are headed to the Gupin stronghold, and they must hurry and take a shortcut if they are to get there before the grass trekkers. Back at the Gupin stronghold, Wicket, Nisa, and Ring Ring finally make it to the front gates and thank the mercant for bringing them all the way. Before they enter, Nisa expresses her belief in the One to Ring Ring, encouraging him that if this hero would only believe in themselves, they would save his people, hinting at Ring Ring being this one. Suddenly, in the distance, they see approaching...
Do you think?
Kwisatz Haderach, yes, definitely. Yes, and he brings the tooth of Shai-Hulud. All right. Yeah. Anyway, suddenly in the distance, he's Muad'Dib. Suddenly in the distance, they see approaching grass trekkers, as well as Ubel and the gang, key in hand, swiftly heading towards the stronghold. Ring Ring demands they open the doors, but the Gupin guards protest. They have orders to keep them closed for the renewal ceremony. Nisa invokes her status as Princess of the Ewoks, and Ring Ring adds that they also have the Juniper key. The guards eagerly open the gates. Nisa turns and pleads for the approaching mercant carrying her friends to hurry. They make it inside and close the gates in time to bar the grass trekkers from entering. Inside the gates is a beautiful Gupin oasis. The beauty is tarnished, however, when Cousin Punt demands that the wingless outcast hand over the key. Ubel protests, but Ring Ring reminds his brother that every Gupin has the right to try. Nisa reassures Ring Ring, saying he displayed a kingly trait. She's really putting it on, you know. The sound of the grass trekkers banging on the front gate intensifies, and Paplu volunteers some nearby Gupins to help him fortify their defenses. Cousin Punt begins the long walk up the steps of the Juniper Chest Shrine as the grass trekkers continue to pummel the gate. Punt reaches the top and inserts the key, but strains to unlock the chest. Ring Ring, Ubel, and Nisa run to help, but Punt accidentally breaks the key trying to unlock the chest just as the grass trekkers break through the stronghold gate, sending Gupin villagers in a frenzy. Seeing the incoming grass trekkers, Ubel grabs his brother and flies him to the chest. Ubel encourages brother to believe and try to open the chest. He inserts his hand inside the Juniper chest keyhole. A magic aura emits from the chest. Ring Ring stands among the magic aura and his wings form. Energized by the chest's aura, the rest of the Gupin folk transform into large animals and drive off their invading grass trekkers. The crew rejoices and Wicket jokes that the grass trekkers won't be bothering them anymore. At least not while Ring Ring is around. Ring Ring is the one and is now also the leader of the Gupins. His first task as king is to deal with Cousin Punt. Ring Ring chooses mercy and makes Punt third in command behind Ubel. Punt removes his crown and places it on Ring Ring's head. The crowd rejoices. Ring Ring invites the Ewoks to stay as honored guests. That night, they party, especially Paplu, who appears to party too much.
What a lurdo.
Roll credits. Yeah, he's such a lurdo.
Oh,
yeah, where's
my
Deej to like just throw him under the bus?
He needs to. I feel like maybe you and I feel differently about this episode. Well, what did you think about it?
I thought there were a lot of just issues that I could pick apart about this episode.
I don't. I feel like this is maybe my favorite episode we've had so far.
Really?
I liked it. I had a good. No, you didn't like it. Oh, I had a good time with it.
Well, I mean, I didn't not like it.
Okay.
Like, there's been episodes where I was just like, golly, when is this gonna be done?
But
like, this one, just like, I mean, even down to like, where's the grass? All of a sudden, the grasslands, this grass disappeared. Like, it's just freaking desert.
It's not a good name. Yeah, it's not a good name.
Not
we
a
can
good
agree
name.
that.
Like,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like what I was saying in the last episode when the Rock King shows up. It's kind of like, what show is this? Like, where is this guy from? That's kind of how I felt about this episode too. It was like all the Gupin stuff. Almost like I would believe that they were planning a Gupin spinoff, and this was like a planted pilot or like a backdoor pilot for a Gupin show.
It does seem like that. Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's really thorough. I feel like it's more thorough, like a world building for the Gupins than we get for the Ewoks at all. I mean, the Ewoks are basically like, everyone gather around the fire, then we'll send children to go stop the world from exploding. We've got 20 minutes before it explodes. Next episode, we're all going to use soap to turn each other invisible. Won't that be fun?
This whole show is just predicated on ceremonies that give them power.
Yes,
like,
that's true.
Like,
that's true.
I don't know. Like, it's so funny. Like, that everything's like an ultimatum based on one aspect.
Yeah.
One very key aspect. Key. Literally.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I guess I just sort of felt like this episode had some structure that I just feel like we've really been lacking. And it was almost like, that's what I mean about it feeling like a pilot, because it's almost like too much information.
Yes.
About we know too much information to never see the Gupins again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
it was a little erratic, right?
Why do we know?
It was just kind of like,
why do we know all that? You were making fun of the Meekants or the Mercants or whatever, the
Mercants, yeah,
the grasshoppery kind of things. I thought those were actually pretty cool. I thought they were like, they looked fully alien to me. And normally,
they made sense for that area,
they did.
Right? Like, when I saw the height of the grass, I was just like, really, why are the Gupins that are like, a foot and a half tall living in a land where grass is like 9 feet tall?
Clever girl.
Like, you got grass trekkers and Mercants, which like actually makes sense for that area.
Yeah.
Like, if that's where you live as a Gupin, that's your fault. Like, move to where the Ewoks
It's a good
live.
point. Move to the forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like both the grass trekkers less so, but especially these guys, they just to me looked truly alien. Like normally the character designs in this show, I
Yeah.
feel like, well, I mean, last episode it was like, okay, we have little blue foxes. You know, they're just like foxes that are blue, and that's the extent of
Yeah.
like making a new character. I feel like
Yeah.
this episode actually did have some stuff that was pretty inventive for creatures.
Yeah. And the grass trekkers made sense. And they were
Yeah,
pretty terrifying too. I mean, they made some pretty crazy
they
noises,
did.
that
Yeah,
like when I saw it, I was thinking of, your son like being like, okay, like
yeah.
doing the thing that
Oh,
like
I
kids
think
do
yeah,
and
covering
like
his ears. Yeah,
covering
he
her
probably would
ears.
have. Yeah,
Yeah. Because my daughter does that. Like she covers her ears when
yeah.
she's seeing something that she doesn't like. I'm like, you're still looking at it,
We got a correct use of Ichiwawa again. Like when they
We
say,
did.
they're like, "Oh, Ichiwawa!" Like they actually say it, like because last episode was
Yeah.
ridiculous. Do you remember last episode, Curse of the Jindas? They
Yeah.
multiple times used it in multiple different ways. It wasn't even like,
So I had a chance to think about that, right?
yes,
Because I was listening to my own show,
right, yeah,
ironically.
yes, yeah,
And I know that you guys brought up like Ichiwawa is really supposed to be like like a fun like
yeah,
thing. Like it's never really supposed, but it's being used in like this Ichiwawa.
yeah,
Like, but think back to the very first time it was used was when Wicket said it after being shot at. So
mm,
to me, it was like, oh man, the original Ichiwawa was really like a holy crap, like we just got, what the heck was that? Rather than
mm,
like, yay. So, but ever since then, ever since that one time it's been used, it's always been a positive thing.
yeah, right,
Always, So it's interesting how like it really is an interchangeable word, but it just
yeah,
doesn't work,
yeah,
I think, in my opinion, for like oh brother, like because it's supposed to be like I guess it's supposed to be like their like word for like whoa. So
yeah,
somebody could be like whoa or whoa or
yeah,
whoa, like
yeah,
like some scene from like what is it,
right.
Wayne's World, would have like that or something like
Yeah,
I don't know, but like
this is like so serious, but I feel like it's if you just replace it with like wow, like you could say wow if something really good is happening, or you can say wow if something really
yeah,
bad is happening. But like I agree, they're not using it as an exclamation most of the time. They're using it as more of like,
yes,
oh, here we go. And
yep,
that's the problem. It like becomes a different part of speech.
yes,
So
it
stupid.
it starts to lose its luster, I think, when it's used in
Yeah,
the negative. I think like really like I don't know, Lurdo is just so fun,
it
like
is.
like you got a Lurdo,
Yeah, yeah.
like I don't know. There is another word that they do say, I think, for negative situations, and I can't remember it
Yeah.
off the
Well, we
top of
got a
my
Kavark
head.
in the last episode as well. I
Okay.
don't know. I was just on board with this episode. I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways the Ewoks are secondary characters in this, and maybe that's just how Ewoks work
That's true.
best.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I liked it. I liked how when they get to the kingdom, Nisa is sort of like, well, I mean, I'm a freaking princess. Is that good enough? Like, I like that she
Yeah.
used that. I just thought there was a lot of good stuff going on, and I was enjoying this one more than I have the last couple, I feel like.
I think for me, it lost its specialty when it was like the whole like here we go again, where there's like a pivotal thing that
Well,
happens
yeah,
on
yeah,
the regular,
yeah,
and they're unprepared.
yeah,
And I just thought, why are they having a ceremony when they
yeah.
know they can't open it? Like they know they don't have the
It
key,
just
and
I don't know. I
so
mean, the like the scope of the writing on this show is just like not every episode can be a little mini movie with like this one stake,
yeah,
and that seems to be what they want to do. Just make every single
yeah,
one. And I think early on when we were talking about these episodes, there was a time when we kind of liked that, where we were like, oh, okay, good, finally we're back to like a quest that they're going to be on. But like it can't be every single episode that it's just like either a quest or
yeah.
a ceremony.
They're so epic, though. I mean,
Yeah,
just think we hardly have an episode that takes place in the Ewok
right,
village.
right.
We don't have it. We don't know. Like, I mean, isn't that we can't have like an episode that's so simple? Like, I don't know. Every morning they wake up and like there's something missing from the village. Like, just like little things. And they
Yeah,
find that like, oh, some animal has like been uprooted from its home and has moved in and eats their market food at night or something, like just
Yeah.
little things like
Yeah.
that like could be a 25-minute episode
Yeah.
that kids would love, but instead it needs to be this like epic journey through the, like the wilderness. And
I feel like the problem just keeps coming back to there's no central character in this show.
yeah.
It really should
Mhm.
be like Wicket and Nisa, and then they have friends, but it's like everyone is equal, like everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just, I spend most of the time just trying to be like, which one is that? Or like hoping that the captions will say which is which,
Yeah.
because their designs aren't that different, and their personalities aren't that different, and like nobody is the focus. And I think that's the problem. I think they have to keep having a quest that will use a bunch of people to do it, because they can't just like tell a story about a character.
I think there's only been one character in this entire show that has had character development.
Mm-hmm.
And weirdly, it's Tebow.
I mean, all that being said, I do like this episode. I think this was fun. It serves to highlight some of the problems that we keep like bringing up again and again, because they keep rearing their heads. But I feel like, as far as how much did I enjoy it, I would probably, well, let's jump to Yub Nubs. How many Yub Nubs would I give this? I'd probably say 4.5, based on.
Really?
Well,
whoa, that is generous.
Listen, not compared to like things that I actually like in the real world, but on the scale that have been set up within the Ewoks universe, I think this is up there.
Oh, geez. I was going to give it like a 2.8. Like,
That's fine.
I was
I respect
entertained,
it.
but I was just like, oh, like there was a couple things that just, anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me the couple things. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, so my Ichiwawa moment, right, was the Tebow, where I was just like, yes, like now he's displaying, like, now we're in episode 8, and they've been just like there's been like little breadcrumbs hinting at him being, what low gray is. And now he's finally like, guys, let me do this thing. Let me do my thing.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, cool. Yep. He's doing it.
Yep.
Sweet. Tebow is an apprentice to low gray. It's official.
Yep. That's been happening consistently. Yeah, I agree with you.
What about you?
Creatures. I got to give it to the creatures. I mean, those the mechants I thought were cool. I liked their design. I like their look. I like the way they also sort of like pivoted and swiveled in weird ways. They just really were like very unique.
They were
creations.
very alien.
They were. I liked those a lot, and I like the grass trickers too. But I think the creature work in this episode, top notch.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Those grass trekkers, they were pretty scary. Yeah. So, Oak of Arcs, what do you got for Oak of Arc? Do you have one?
I mean I know it's like a almost feels like Robin Hoodie with the like incompetent cousin sitting on the throne and stuff. But
that's true.
Him like taking the key out and being like, "Oh, I broke the key." I thought it was kind of silly, and I thought the sort of Wizard of Oz moment of like, "You had the power all along, ring ring," was a little lame when it's also like built around this thing that it was like, not only do you not need the key, which your idiot cousin broke somehow, but you could just stick your hand in there and it's fine. I just thought that was kind of like,
Yeah, he was obviously going to be the one.
Yeah.
Like that was, to me, it was so obvious. But like they said that he was basically supposed to be king.
Right.
So he's already king.
Yeah.
So like the whole concept of like he should have just been like nobody, and then there just happens to be a king in power that is incompetent.
Right.
But the fact that like he was a king or was in line or succession to be a king, and because he was outcast, his cousin took over, or eventually his cousin took over.
Right.
That was just like, well, that doesn't make him special. They lost that like, well, he was a pauper and now he's a prince.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
it was.
That
less
aspect
of like a
of
chosen one situation and more like, I guess, a Lion King situation.
Yeah.
Where he
where
just
they're
goes
like,
off.
Yeah. More like a Lion King. Yeah. Where they're like, oh well, the one he's going to be able to do this, and because he can do that, he'll be king.
Right.
Where I'm like, well, Ring Ring already could be
he already
king.
could be. That's a good point.
So like,
That's a
so
good
I was
point.
just like that. for me, I was just like, oh, what are they,
I
what? Like,
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right. I also like though that they didn't like Punt wasn't like you're going to be in the dungeons forever. They made him third in command. I like that. I thought that was
yeah,
kind of
yeah, that
like, you
was
know
pretty
what?
good.
You're an idiot, but you're family, so
He could, I mean, the place was still an oasis. I
there you
mean,
go.
think of that. I mean, maybe he's just really a shrewd businessman
Could
or
be.
something. Like,
Could
I don't
be.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like other things, like I thought they really dropped the ball when it was like when at the very beginning Ringman goes, "Oh, okay, you want me to turn into something else? Just think of something." And I thought, well, we can't all be thinking of the same thing, right? So I wanted him to. So when his form of being like this giant puffer fish or blowfish
Yeah.
failed, I thought, wouldn't it have been so much better if he was like, oh guys, what are you doing? And he was like part like horse, part like bird thing,
That would
part
be a
like
horrible
fish.
power, but that would make more sense. Yeah.
But then he would have been like, oh, you're thinking of the wrong thing. I can't hold my form, and then and then he ended up flying away. Where it'd have been like, oh, like whoops, I forgot to tell you to all think of the same thing. In the previous episode that he was in, he was just like, you all need to think of the same thing to get me to turn into whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that would have
and
been good.
I forgot to bring up in that episode when it was just like, oh, you had that power the whole time. You couldn't have been like, think of a giant bird, and then we can get to our destination
Yeah, but there was
immediately.
some reason why they couldn't all transform. That I guess I was a little lost on
maybe,
that.
yeah.
Like what they because like whenever he does whatever he does at the end and like unleashes the power, they can all transform again?
Well, he didn't want to tell them. I think it was, like
Okay.
he told them when it suited the storyline. But I guess I could say like, well, I mean, I felt like if I have like a special talent, I'm not just gonna like tell everyone in my
Mm.
group, like
Mhm.
we're going off hiking, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
just by the way, guys, I play the cello. People would be like, all right,
I knew that. I knew
until we
that
get to
fact.
that like wizard in the woods that's like, if anyone can play this cello song,
What
you'll
woods are
all
you walking
survive.
in? What's happening?
I don't know, the
Is
Ewok
this
woods,
these
the
are just
grass.
classic New Jersey? Oh, Ewok. Okay.
Yeah, New Jersey
All
woods.
right.
Yeah, we got the Pinelands down here.
I was gonna
But
say, what is that? A Walmart parking lot?
Wow, look at this tree. Dude, that's a light pole. Oh,
With apologies to New Jersey.
it
What's
is
our
literally where the pit of that's the entrance of hell is New Jersey. It just is.
What do you think the moral was this time around? The power
I
is
think
yours. The power's inside.
if you only believe,
Trust yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like if you only believe. Of course, it's easy for him to believe. He's already possibly
prince.
king.
Yeah, he's like the
so
crown
I just
prince.
thought like
Yeah.
that was like. It would have
Yeah.
been more difficult to believe if
Right.
he was a nobody,
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's like, oh, and
Maybe
then,
it's
okay.
live up to your responsibilities then.
So,
Stop kavarking around and go be
I'm
king.
kavarking. I'm still kavarking. I can't get off. I'm hung on the kavarks, right? All right, it's the grasslands, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Grass Trekker Shrine is like straight up Sahara desert.
Yeah.
With like some rocks. Like, where did the grass go? Like, you are there. They stick
tracked
out
it
like
all.
a freaking sore thumb
Yeah.
because there's no grass. Anyway, and then they're like, this is where I was just like, what were they thinking when they were like, let's take a shortcut, we'll beat them? The Grass Trekkers are doing a straight line, and they decide to like go in the gorge, which is like snaky. They decide to
See, this
Yeah.
is your outdoor rec major coming out right now.
no, I was just like, couldn't they have just simply had the Grass Trekkers going in the windy gorge
Yeah.
and them like running on the flat lands, like,
Right.
and then they could look over and be like, oh yeah, we're beating them, like, rather than like, I don't know, are we beating them? I don't
Really
know.
upset you. I understand.
And then see the key at the top, and they start running up. They both start running up the stairs, and then it like wipes to like Paplu again outside. And I was just like, wait a minute, was he with wings? With wings, he was just running up those stairs. Like when you have just been like, it's up there.
It's
Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
Situation.
Like,
you need lift, maybe.
yeah, I know. I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot that was just too easy to pick
Okay.
apart.
Well,
because they were pivotal moments to the story rather than just like,
I feel like
like
this is an Endorian life first, where we feel drastically differently about this episode.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
we have some overlap because there are definitely stupid things, but my takeaway was that I liked it, and yours was that it was dumb. So It happens.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's
I
never
didn't
happened
hate
before, but
it.
it does
Yeah, I
happen.
didn't hate it. I just was like, this is dumb.
Okay.
Like they just like, oh, come on. Like why they do that? Come on.
I understand.
So
All
yeah,
right. Well, maybe you'll do better next time with
I'll do better.
episode. Well, I
Maybe
mean,
you'll do better.
maybe they'll do better. How about that?
Maybe
Maybe
they'll
the
do
creative
better.
team will do better. In our next episode, when we're covering season 1, episode 9, Sunstar versus Shadow Star. Pretty good name.
Ooh, yeah, I am
It's
excited.
an intriguing name.
Yes.
All right. Well, Steve, it was good to have you back.
Oh, I thank you. It's good to be back. It's
Good.
I feel like I have rightfully reclaimed my
I think you have.
co-host status.
I think you
from
have. Yep.
Kendra. Yeah.
I agree.
Sorry, Kendra.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, she's done.
You're
no
out.
more. Yeah, no more agendas.
And I'm
so,
in.
all right, folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next
Yeah, thank
time.
you. All right. This Endorian Life was brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. You can find more about this show and others like it at our network's website, radiomeanwhile.com. Share your thoughts on this and upcoming episodes by following us on Facebook or Twitter at Endorian Life, and please rate, subscribe, and share this show wherever you get your podcasts. The best thing to do is actually put it right back in.
We're talking about teeth. We're talking about
Teeth, yeah, like if you
okay,
lose a
from the
tooth,
gin
you
dust,
just put
yep.
it right back in, which is a bizarre thing.
You put
right?
it back
But
in.
You put it right back in, yeah. So
But
you
I'm not
actually put it
crazy.
right
Like
back in.
milk is a thing. Putting
No,
it in
you
milk.
are absolutely correct. Yeah,
Okay.
like so in the grand scheme of things, you would want to spit in a cup or put it in milk, and people have been known to have them inserted and grow back. But like if you were to put it back in, your root can reattach, like regrow.
It's creepy. I
So
mean,
it's like-
that's what happened with the Rock King.
Yeah,
That makes
but
that
that
makes
was
sense.
years. That was years.
That's
But for
true.
him, he like put it
That's
back in.
true.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, perfect.
It's a
I don't
different-
feel any pain anymore. And it's like,
Different
I guess
situation.
that must be how rock teeth work.
Okay. All right. I understand.
So,
Well, this has been
completely
this has
accurate.
been informative.
Yeah, so I'm happy to use my wilderness first responder skills.